Howdy folks, this is Jackers back again with another episode in our nickel tour of No Man's Sky, and this is episode 5, and that means we are now here with a more advanced level character. How advanced? Well, 48 slots in inventory, and I am by no means an expert at No Man's Sky. I don't claim anything like that, but I think the character is far enough along that I can give you a better idea of some of the deeper aspects of the game. We've got 110 million credits right now. We have some technology in our suit, so we have hazmat gauntlets. We can get hazardous plants and a little extra boost to our jetpack tanks and sprint distance. And we are in a little outpost that I've made. Now, I'm playing this single player. So there is a trade port right there, and I have built a little outpost right next to the trade port. Which means as long as I don't want to access my ship's inventory, I can buy items right here and put them right into my inventory. So I can buy 84 of these superconducting fibers for 3.8 million. And let's see, I can buy another probably 99 of these. And I have an entire set of trade routes made up with these teleporters. So we can just go somewhere I know we'll buy these. Now, the odds are I cut some of the wormhole out just because, well, to keep us down on time. This is my current ship. We'll take a look at that at a moment. But this is how I've been making money lately, is just trade routes. Walk into the teleporter, buy, sell, repeat, rinse, repeat over, well, quite a few stations. So now I bought for 3.8 million, I sell for 5.7. I don't remember how much the solvent we paid, but we had what, about 110 when we started, 113 now, and we could continue going off like that. Now I also have a slightly better multi-tool than the lower level character. This is an S-class multi-tool, so it is actually pretty good. I still haven't fixed this all the way yet. I suppose I could. It's not really that hard. We need, what was it, 5 microprocessors. We can probably buy them right here. And 6 batteries, I think it was. And let's see. You'll often be offered these multi-tools, and you'll need to repair them, and they repair just pretty much like anything else. Once you have all the things, you don't even have to repair them all at once. You can see I've already fixed the hermetic seal portion. Now we just come in here and repair the microprocessors, the ion batteries, and now we have all of our slots available. So we've got some upgrades to our mining beams. You can only have so many upgrades at once, and I think it's 3. And if they're attached like this, so here's the mining beam, we've got an A-class, an S-class, and another A-class, and they all have a green border around them, which means that they all are benefiting. There's sort of a synergy going on. Same with our bolt caster and an S-class upgrade, and we have 2 C-class upgrades for the bolt caster as well, and a terrain manipulator. I don't like some of the other weapons too much. Because right-clicking closes so many menus, I had a geology cannon. I ended up blowing myself to Kingdom Come more often than not. This is the ship I'm currently using. I called it Dragonfly. It is an S-class explorer. So here you can see the class is S in the upper right. Doesn't have too much in the way of bells and whistles. I've been going through ships pretty quickly. We do have an economy scanner though, which is kind of cool. Okay, I gotta see what that is. Sorry. It's that. Yep, it's that. Hi, little guy. Oh, we haven't even scanned this one. So scanning them will get you nanites and cash if you remember to upload them. So we can come over to discoveries and upload And we will get 15 nanites for our trouble. Hey, the fun police showed up, just in case anything too exciting was going on. Now, let's take a look at something else. I want to see where exactly we are. I think what we want to do is go to... Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we go take a look at my sort of main base first. We could teleport right there, but why don't we take a flight down? S-class vessels tend to have considerably better bonuses than even their A-class counterparts. Oh, you know what? The one thing I didn't think about was, though, I have more than one outpost in this sector. Well, that's not going to help us. Back into the station we go. Explorers, I like the Explorers because they're nimble, and for another reason. They have much longer legs for hyperdrive just by default. They can go farther. You add any upgrades and they go really far. Let me take a look. I always look now. Ooh, there's an S-class fighter. Let's see what we've got here. A mirror friend. The pilot clicks their beak to indicate that they are open to trading. They might also be open to discuss the sale of their starship. So we'll take a look at that. And we can see here, S-class starship plus 59% damage, plus 18% shield, plus 0% hyperdrive. Negotiate the price. And now here's an interesting thing. If I wanted to trade starships, and I think I might, well, I have things here in my current ship. But if I just click on them, they go into the new ship's inventory. Unfortunately, technology does not do the same thing. We're going to lose some technology slots. Looks like 3, as obviously that's not 29, but you know what, for 10 million let's snap up this fighter. I've never had an S-class fighter before, so something new for us. Goodbye, Dragonfly. You're a really cool looking boat. I really dig that look. Alright, anyway, we'll trade it in for the Colonial Viper look. In we go to the station. This way I can find my base quite easily. Naming bases doesn't always work, but here is my base, Gex Supervisor Base. And again, I probably cut some of the teleport there. So our ship does follow us, and we'll have to dress it up soon. But anyway, this is my base, and my base has all sorts of new things. Some of them grumble, apparently. We have up here sort of storage, so kind of extra storage you can build for yourself. Only 5 slots, not super useful, but interesting. And over here we have one of our vehicles. This is called the Nomad, and it's an exocraft. Think of it as kind of, well, like a hover bike. And a little bit of a boost. And it has its own mining laser, although it's not an advanced mining laser, so you're not able to get some of the cooler minerals. Like, you can get ferrite dust, but you can't get pure ferrite. See if I can get this back up there or not. Close enough. Okay. Over in this little structure, we have my advanced refinery, which allows you to, say, you like chlorine. You can use oxygen and chlorine to basically duplicate chlorine. So this will make, well, 250, that's the max slot. But you can also make more advanced elements if you have the schematics. You'll see often that elements say it's a combination of, you know, X, Y, and Z, but just slapping X, Y, and Z in there won't necessarily do it if you don't know the recipe, ostensibly. Over here we have a farm hydroponic setup where we have examples of many different types of flora and fauna, and there should be a guy right there. No idea where the guy went. Usually there. And let's see. In this one, oh, just an empty room. I must have been planning something. Over here, all of my guys are gone. It looks like, yep, every single one of my guys is gone. In here would be the Gex supervisor this base was named for, but apparently he got bored and left. Oh, and another galactic exchange terminal. In here was our scientist, who also seems to have taken a walk. And let's see, this is the teleporter room for this base. This was a weapons dealer type fella. And all the way over here was our vehicle specialist, who also has gone off the beaten path. Now, in other vehicles, we have the Roamer, which is kind of the middle ground vehicle and a lot of fun. It also has a boost. It has, well, it has technology just like the ships do. So we have acceleration modules, we have a mounted cannon, we have a signal booster so we can look for things, and we have mining lasers. And beside this sort of, this reminds me of a remote control car more than anything else, and it's pretty much that fun. And over here we have the big lumbering beast that is the Colossus. And usually what I would take with me if I were mining, just because it has more space to hold things. And it just kind of goes everywhere. One thing to note about these, if we like look at that rock right there, even the car, I don't know about the hover bike, but we destroy things as we go over them. So let's, we don't have an acceleration module on this, but say that tree right there. If we were just driving along, we destroy things. Now, if there are sentinels around and you drive over things, they look at it pretty much as if you had harvested it. So, you know, it's a good way to get the sentinels to want to have a little talk with you. I despise these little plants, and they provide oxygen, so it's a win-win to wipe them out. Now, this was a drop pod. These, you'll find these with coordinates, and basically it's how you can upgrade your suit inventory for free. You can also just pay for it at any outpost that you travel to. Or, sorry, not outpost, but actual space station. Once. Let's take our new fighter out for a spin, shall we? See what this thing can do. Okay. Not too shabby, but what we really want to do is head to something else. Because although you can make your base on the ground like this, as a matter of fact, it's almost a necessity for questing. To even unlock the vehicles, you have to go through sort of a quest chain for your base. Oh, come on. Landing area not clear. Pickiest thing sometimes. Seriously. Just land. Alright, I'm not honestly sure why this thing won't land. Fine. Do it the old-fashioned way. There's almost always a way out of something. Although I did once get stuck inside a freighter. So, freighters. Let's talk about them. First, let's hop over here. Freighters are, you'll see the big ships in space every now and then, and every so often you'll even be called to defend them from pirates or assailants of some variety or another. When you do, you will be invited to purchase the freighter. And the freighter is essentially your more permanent base than all of the others. It can't quite have everything. Like, so far I haven't been able to install a teleporter in the frigate, or the freighter. Oh, how I wish I could. But it does house all of your other ships. So right now, besides this fighter, I own 4 other ships that I fly. I also have, I think, 6 or 7 or 8 frigates that, well, run missions for me and protect me occasionally and my freighter. Now, one of the awesome things about teleporting, especially if you're doing teleporting trade routes, is you don't have to use your launch thrusters and you don't have to use warp fuel. Hello there, Get. Yak to you too. Now, we need to go to a new system. My fleet actually used to be housed in this system, but they are now in this one. So, okay, so there are, I'm absolutely positive, more blueprints and more things to build for bases and, well, other things than I have. But I'm not honestly entirely sure how you find blueprints. I think it has to do with the signal booster. But anyway, so my freighter is right there, and I actually have a team of frigates that just came back from a mission. But we can also just kind of come over here and visit this other group. All the green ones are frigates that you can recruit to join your fleet. Let's see if we can find a cool looking frigate. I like to start with C-class frigates because aside from, well, actually I think they're the only things I've ever seen that you can level up. So right now we're getting called by a frigate. We answer. Greetings from one commander to another. Do you seek new vessels for your fleet? We are proven in battle and ready to fight once again. Grah. And then you can inspect the frigate. Crew to your stations. And here we have a C-class combat specialist. Available for 1.6 million units. And sure, why not? So, there was actually a negative aspect to that frigate, and we'll take a look at that, if I remember, when we get to my frigate, or freighter. But let's take a look at a freighter that I don't own. So what you would normally do if you got called, this would turn into a blue icon, this purple one right here. But if the freighter is available to be purchased, it's purple. You just come into the landing bay. Your ship will dock. And you just kind of follow the purple icon right on up to the bridge. Now, just like trade ports and space stations, other ships, other boats will come and land here, and you can trade with them and purchase them as long as you have the funds to do so. Alright, Commander Mar is in charge of this freighter. Let's use our jetpack to go over that. Well, howdy there. Kirwayat, yep, that too. Yep, I was saying the same thing just the other day. An air of weary authority clearly marks this being as the freighter's captain. Do they tire of the burden of ownership, I wonder? The responsibility for the life and livelihood of their crew must weigh heavy on their mind. They seem amenable to an offer. A freighter brings access to a large inventory, a hangar bay in which to store multiple ships, and space in which to construct an orbital base. Offer to buy the freighter. So this is a B-class 17-slot freighter. And it has plus 15% hyperdrive range, and I could compare it to mine, but okay, and just make sure I don't select it, because mine is an A-class freighter with 19 slots, worth a bit more and well laden with things. But just like the other, when I purchased the fighter, you can just click your items from here into his inventory if you wanted it, click accept, and it shall be yours. Now the one thing that I noticed when I did this, I did one of the rescue freighter missions, and I got my very first free freighter, and it was awesome. It was like 18 slots, and I rescued another one, and when I got on board, the guy just offered me his ship without the compare, just for 0 units. And I didn't realize you could only have one freighter at a time, so I said yes. And I immediately lost all of my cargo and my freighter with 2 slots more. So do be careful and make sure what you're clicking. Anyway, let's go visit mine now that we've seen. Actually, it looks like my fleet is still out. I thought they were already back. Okay, back to our new fighter. Hey, that looks like an R2 unit, doesn't it? Kinda. We can walk through that, but hey, you know, whatever. Kind of like a little bit Star Wars, a little bit of Battlestar Galactica. All right. I approve. Now, let's swing over to mine. And there are some really massive, really cool freighters. This one only cost about 14 million. There's actually a ship inside it that cost over 100 million. Okay. So now we're in my hangar. Now, as long as you're in your own hangar, you save when you get out of your boat. When you get off the boat on someone else's freighter, you don't save. So here are some of my ships. This is an exotic ship. I haven't changed the names on the exotics. I have 2 of them. This is Akazona's Whispering Regret. And you can see that it's an S-class exotic ship. It has 20 inventory slots and 6 technology slots. I basically use the ships in here for storage and just have the one that I run around in. But I do change from time to time. This is my other exotic, Mige of the Moon. This one's interesting in that if we take it out for a spin, let's actually switch views here. I don't do this very often, but it is fun. The wings were up when they were in the hangar, but it's kind of a B-wing when we fly around outside. And as we go back into the hangar, the wings go back up. And there we go. And this is the really expensive one. It is a hauler. Actually, let's go back to first person. And this has 48 slots and 8 technology slots. I think you can get up to 12, maybe, technology slots. But this one just kind of came and landed right in front of me, so does really well at storage. Oh, as I was saying, there are fighters, there are exploration craft, like this one back here. This is an S-Class Explorer, much like what I had before I bought the fighter. So explorers, fighters, haulers, and shuttles. But the haulers and shuttles in first person have a bug where when you take off, occasionally the view will skew, so it'll essentially put you like 3 feet back or off to the left or off to the right, which does actually make it a little hard to fly. And they do handle differently. This thing handles quite a bit less nimbly than the Explorers. But okay, that's my stable of ships. I think I can actually have one more. This is a visitor, B-Class 17. But I like to keep one slot open. Plus, I haven't seen anything that I really couldn't live without yet. Maybe if I saw another exotic, I would change my mind. So, this is the part of the ship where you can actually build things. Press Z to build, and you can build freighter components. Like, you can put in a room, or expand one, if you have one. So we can make a bigger room like that. And you could, from there, you build your fleet command rooms. You have decorations. Like I said, I don't have many blueprints. You can also build equipment up here, permanent equipment. You can build a galactic trade terminal. This is a base salvage capsule, a large refiner. There's the galactic trade terminal. And farming. You can use your refiner up here, storage, specialist terminals. You can literally build your base up here. And the boat is big. I don't know how they may differ. Like, I've seen some truly massive freighters that would dwarf this one. But anyway, so right now I do have a fleet out. This is a holographic representation. We can check in on them. Fleet Command Online. Calibrating to Fleet Commander Zolian of the DSE-5 Kaniza. Speak with the commander. Greetings, traveler entity. The expedition has covered 2,560 light years, and I estimate our plotted route will take a further 6 minutes and 0 seconds. All systems nominal. And we can inspect the ships that are out at the moment. This was a C-class ship. It had a red dot in it because it had basically a debuff, but you level them up. All of these ships started out as C-class. So as far as I know, they're the only thing that you can really level up in the game, and it's kind of enjoy it, watching them get better and better. And when they get damaged, you do have to go fly out and repair them. But once you have a decent enough stable, they do pretty well at taking care of themselves. We can inspect the fleet again here and see my entire fleet. So I've got 4 S-classes, an A, a B, and a C that we just hired. He has 2 debuffs. So let's see, small hoppers, -4 industry, and misaligned sensors, -4 exploration. But we can send them out on missions. We probably have enough boats right now to send him out, get him an education. Gra, interloper captain, there is fresh glory available for the fleet. I have charted new expedition routes. Prepare for triumph. View potential expeditions. Ooh. Industry, huh? These guys weren't very good at that. Well, let's see who's still left. Oh. Well, let's see if we send our interstellar dreadnought with our interstellar frigate. No, difficulty rating 2, fleet rating 1. I wouldn't take a risk on that. But if I wanted to, I would launch the expedition, and they would be away. Now, one thing to know about the frigates and the freighters is that you have to fuel them. And you fuel them by using dihydrogen, the blue crystals you find on the ground, and tritium, which you find in the asteroids all over the place outside. And these also do have hyperdrives, and you can warp in them. You can warp farther usually than you can with some of your ships. The Explorers, I haven't actually tried to test it to see who can go farther, the freighter or the Explorers, but the Explorers do have some really long legs. And that is a more advanced look at No Man's Sky. There is quite a bit to do in the game, quite a bit to find, quite a bit to explore, quite a bit to enhance, level up if you enjoy, you know, starting out from scratch and making yourself a fleet or a base or even just a ship or a character with extraordinary statistics. There's a lot of fun to be had. It's not the most hardcore space sim that you can find, but, you know, it's fun. I really enjoy it. And it lets me run trade routes. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Privateer in the old days. Anyway, this will wrap up our nickel tour of No Man's Sky, and I think that probably will wrap up the series entirely. Unless I find something amazing and just have to show you guys. So for the moment, I would like to say thank you for watching. I hope you found the video entertaining and maybe even just a little informative. I would like to invite you to subscribe, like and share if you so desire, and hey, if you're feeling up to it, go ahead and hit that notification bell. Most of all though, I would like to ask you to please take care.